Okay, on to the show now. We have another featured guest, and it is it is a pleasure to have Paris Brightledge on my show. How are you, Paris? Good to have you with us today.
Well, I'm doing great, and thanks for having me on, Danny.
You're very welcome. And what part of the world are you in at the moment?
I'm at the capital of house music, man, Chicago.
Wow, wow, wow. Well, do you know I'm in your twin city? I'm in Birmingham, UK, which is
All
your twin
right.
city.
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
And
That absolutely.
Paris, your name is quite well known on vinyl sleeves and records, especially the 80s. You you were well known for work with Sterling Void.
Yeah. Sterling and I have we've had our history.
Great. And if I can ask you to cast your mind back to the early 80s, which DJs inspired you?
Well, it's funny you should say that. Well, Hardy and Knuckles, obviously, but I don't think they inspired me to do music. I've always, you know, you when you're a vocalist, you come out singing. I've
Yeah.
always wanted to do that.
So
But
yeah, sure.
yeah, so yeah, but they inspire. I used to go down to the music box and the power plant and the warehouse, and I would check those guys out. A lot of times I'd have to sneak in, but yeah, I remember those days, man. It was wild days,
Yeah. Happy days.
great days, really nice memories. Unfortunately, both those gentlemen have passed on now.
Yeah, sure. And it's all right. Yes, bottoms up to the DJs who were no longer with us.
Absolutely.
Lessons to them. It's all right as well. The lyrics very topical. Back in 1987 as well, and even now, what's happening in the world right now? That song still translates 35 years later.
Yeah. Yeah, I came up listening to all of I came up in the 70s, so there was this, I came up in the early 70s. There was all of this socially aware content in the music back then. So that's what I came up listening to. And I think I've always been socially conscious. So I think I wanted to make a statement. I think I wanted to, some people, a lot of people say that It's All Right is the conscious voice of house music. So, and rightfully so. Yeah, I just wanted to do something that would be indelible on the minds of people, in the minds of people. And I think that was it was the desired result. So yeah,
I like the meaning of the song. The music brings people together from every all walks of life.
yeah. But doesn't it?
Yes, I believe any
Yeah.
music. Yeah,
For the most part, I think there's some people who aren't really into music. I've met those types of people. They could take a song, or they could take music or leave it.
yeah,
But for some of us, music is such a powerful driving force. I've known people, even if they aren't really musically inclined, or have no talent, so to speak of, they just love music. I mean, really love music. Some real deep music lovers out there. I don't know. When I look at those people, I wonder how they would have been had they been musicians,
mm.
because they just love music.
And the Pet Shop Boys, they covered your song. How did you feel about that? Did you have any input on their version? It's slightly more European, isn't it? Eurobeat to it.
Uh, I think overall, I'm grateful that they took a stab at it. Of course, I've benefited from their venture, so it's been kind of a symbiotic thing. And yeah, I have nothing bad to say about their version or them as artists.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what that's what music has done throughout the ages. I mean, people cover people's songs,
yeah, that's true.
for whatever reason, and
That's true.
sometimes it's just for money, or sometimes it's just to see how far it'll get them, or its marketability. You know what I mean? Or it's, sometimes artists do it to remain salient. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But whatever, it's cool. Yeah, I just hate when people. I I've been on threads where people say, "Oh, the Pet Shop Boys version just blows the original away," and I'm just like, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Or I'll be on threads where people say, "Oh, this has nothing on the original," and
yeah,
it doesn't. I don't get entangled in stuff
yeah,
like that. It's
yeah,
all perspective. It's preference. You know.
yeah,
And Pet Shop Boys, they are a huge act, and and people love them. People love the Pet Shop Boys. They love every song they drop, man, and they're just waiting on that next song. They're just true fans,
yeah,
and of course they're biased and have their own opinions.
yeah. That's very commendable of you to say that. And I've got some comments from your track actually. What people say about the Sterling Void version. Someone says from the Freds. Sterling Void. They didn't know the name of the group, but back in the day, this track was the classic. Brings back so many clubbing memories to a 49-year-old. And a guy called Chris says this song gives me the strength to survive. That's your song, the original version. Some comments I come across.
So I don't know. I think that validates my existence. You know what I mean? When people say, because I've read those same things,
Yeah,
and people have written those same things to me personally, and people have told me that personally, and it's such a profound thing that someone, or that something that you do has such a positive effect. Because I'm socially aware, and I understand exactly what a shithole world we live in. And when you can do something positive in this place, or this, I'm moved. I'm humbled. That someone feels that way about something that I've done. I feel an accomplishment. You know.
that's wonderful. And I wanted to ask about your other record, "Set Me Free." Here in the UK, that was quite a modest hit as well in the charts. The follow up to "It's All Right," "Set Me Free" with Sterling Void.
Set Me Free. I had no artistic input other than vocals. So I was as you know, we were both on the same record label, DJ International, and there was a lot of collaborations. There was a lot of, hiring different artists for different projects, and I think we're all just fumbling along. So he had this song, but he had this other vocalist on it, and he didn't like how, or the direction he didn't like the effort that the guy put forward, and he asked me to do the vocals on
Yeah,
it. So I was brought in as a hired vocalist for that track. I didn't write the lyrics or
Yeah,
anything.
that's cool. And I'm going to shift now to kind of the recent times now. What was it like working with the duo Groove Armada last year?
Uh, so Groove Armada, again, that's a collaboration that they asked me to be a part of their Edge of Horizon album, and I was humbled that they would ask me. And they are also a huge act, as you know.
Yeah,
And yeah, they're a huge act, and well, they asked me on board, and I gratefully accepted, and things worked out very well with them. And
that's awesome.
so now I've got that on my resume.
Yeah, that's
Speak, you know.
that's great. And your new track as well, exciting. Deep in My Soul, released recently.
Clone Records.
And
Surge at Clone Records.
congratulations on your new record.
Thank you. So that's all my production and songwriting and vocals and lyrics and everything. It's I sent them over I think it was 7 different tracks. And they wanted them all, but they just didn't know what to do with them, you know. And how do we put this out? Maybe we'll do a double vinyl EP, or we'll do something or the other. The first EP is slated for release on the 4th of April, or the 5th of April next month.
Yeah.
And there's a YouTube premiere of Deep in My Soul, the lead track off that EP, on YouTube right now. It was just posted 2 or 3 days ago. And so there's it's going to be a 2 EP kind of deal. The first one's going to be Deep in My Soul, and the second one's going to be When I Die. And on this first EP, Marshall Jefferson, Hula Mahone, Eric Cupper, Kay Alexi, Shelby, and Robert Bond appear on this first EP. And Marshall Jefferson does a mix on the Deep in My Soul. And there's Eric Cupper did a mix on a song written by myself and Robert Bond. The name of that song is the Eric Cupper's For Love, and written by Robert Bond and myself, and remixed by Eric Cupper. Then Kay Alexi and I team up for a song that Hula Mahone mixes called I See Your Face. And so there's a total of 4 different songs on this first EP. So really excited about that.
Great. Well, we'll definitely keep an eye out for that. Anyway, I know our listeners will be looking forward to that over here in the UK. So we'll we'll get that upon our socials, just to let everyone aware of that. You know, and my final question for you today as well. Have you found with age your voice has matured, or have you still kind of kept your range and your control and your dynamics?
Well, so Marshall Jefferson seems to think that everything is still in place. And he's the godfather of house music, so I'll go with that. But personally, Mars is a really nice guy, you know. But personally, I think I've lost a step or two. Ability-wise, I think I've lost a step or two. Range-wise, but I've always had such an ability, and I don't want to come off as egotistical or anything, but I think I've always had such an ability and such a range that it's probably unnoticeable to someone that hasn't studied the anthology, I can still sing "It's All Right," no problem, even the high notes. Yeah. So I've definitely lost a step. I've gotten a lot older. I'm a lot older now. I'm 35 years older now. Yeah, you're going to lose a step, but I think my voice has matured. I think as vocalists, we take what we have and use what we have. And if you sounded good in the past, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to sound good now. It's an instrument. I mean, Frank Sinatra always sounded good. Few other of the, if you don't abuse your instrument, smoking and alcohol and that kind of thing, you should still be able to carry Sting. Look at Sting; he's like still at the top of his game. So yeah.
That's great. Well, Paris Brightledge, thank you so much for chatting to me, Dennison, on the UK airwaves today. It's been a delight having you on. Just telling us about the record, It's All Right, your new music as well, and best of luck with everything.
Well, thank you for having me, and yeah, follow me on Instagram.
Instagram.
Or Brightledge on Instagram, and Paris Brightledge on Facebook, my artist page. And check out my new EP on YouTube.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us. And yes, it's been a pleasure.
Well, thanks for having me again. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Cheers.